2 numara ardışık olarak birbirini izleyen uzun sesler. 3. öğe triller.
So we've gone from long sound to broken sequential sound. Trio, number 3. Number 4, staccato long sound. Number 5, I don't have my paper, but that's multiphonics. Multiphonics is like interval, okay. Multiphonics. Short attacks. By angular attacks, I just mean uneven attacks, unbalanced attacks. Legato. Diatonic, scalular sounds. Gradient sounds are sounds that get faster and faster, or slower and slower, or louder and louder, or softer and softer. So gradient could be and the last is sub-identity. Sub-identity could be a melody, anything involving memory. Sub-identity. that point, the 12 schemes, I would, at that point, use that material in the same way that a cook has vegetables, meat, or whatever, or the same way that a painter has red, blue, green, yellow, and from that point I would use the various components to fashion either an identity or an improvisation or a focus, have a musical focus or compositional focus. The concept of 12 different languages that would also demonstrate mutable experiences or improvisational experiences, which in my system is the circle. 12 languages that would demonstrate a structural experience, which is a triangle in my system, a rectangle. And finally, for the ritual and ceremonial musics, which is the triangle, 12 story types or 12 character types. My interest is, how can I say it? I am interested in every aspect of whatever I can think of as it relates to creativity, but it's kind of complex for me because I see no difference between music and any other discipline. That is to say, for me, the wonder of music is a gift from God, that inside it gives us the possibility to continue to evolve ourselves, continue to learn, and look for fresh ways of having an experience, and also how that connects to a general information scheme. My hope in the future is to create a living state. Imagine, for instance, just for an example, something like, I'll say Disneyland. I don't mean Disneyland like Western capitalism in the negative sense of it. I mean Disneyland in the sense where my hope is to create a space where the friendly experiencer can enter into the space either by him or herself or in groups and have an experience, either interactive experience with computers or an experience in three-dimensional experience with holograms or with actors. I feel that the emergence of the new technologies, especially CD-ROM, more and more will give us fresh opportunities to have interactive creative experiences, fresh opportunities to look at greater dimensions of time, fresh opportunities that involve dialogue, movement. For the 12 languages I just played, there are also 12 movements. Movements of the hands, legs, movements of the body. I'm a Gemini. The color for Gemini is orange. The note for Gemini is F sharp. This information is not new. Much of it has come from Istanbul 2,000-3,000 years ago. I'm not talking about anything new. I'm only talking about approaching the old with fresh respect and seeking to rebalance creativity and life to have the healthiest relationship. I feel that we are in a dynamic period in time where, okay, right now America has power, Africa's in a bad position, political change happening all over the planet. Hooray for Earth. But the most fundamental precept that I have been able to understand about life is that change, the phenomenon of change, is a universal fundamental. And that inside of change will involve cultures at the high cycle and low cycle, changing political balances on Earth. I believe the challenge of the creative musician is the same as the challenge of dynamic spirituality, in the sense of looking for ways to better understand behind the veil, to look into the underlying forces. For those of you who have that belief, for those of you who say, no, there's no underlying forces, there's no spirituality, I say, that's fine. Even nothing is a concept. And I can relate to that as far as polarities are concerned. And so the work that I have been trying to do as a professional student of music in the past 30 years has been to have an involvement with the integration of the new information as well as the old information. I should also say I love the tradition. I mean no disrespect to the tradition. In the jazz magazines in America, they say, oh, avant-garde, avant-garde. They don't like the tradition, they can't play the major scales. I love the tradition. But the tradition is change. Change, hard work, and understanding that whatever you do is just what you do. Everybody is important. Everyone has their work. And I just want to do the best I can do with my work. I feel very grateful to have discovered music. And I'm sorry that I cannot speak the language clearly. I'm sorry. Any question, or are there any subjects or areas that any of you would like to discuss as it relates to my work? Yes, sir.
I want to ask about the examples you just shown us. Are these examples applicable to the other instruments also?
Yes, sir. A very good question. Yes, the examples are apply to every instrument. Also, the examples apply to every compositional scheme. The examples also apply to the fundamental, I'll say virtues, but I guess that's the right word. The fundamental virtues of the ritual musics in terms of polarity, life, death, marriage, humor, friendship, trust, opposition, hope, and I can't remember the others. But for your question, yes, sir. Whether I play the clarinet or the flute, or if I am writing a composition, I think in terms of the 12 structural states. I think in terms of what I would call the identity house. That is, in my system,